What hobby is an immediate red flag? The only thing I have learned from this thread is that Redditors don't know what the word hobby means. Posting everything, everything, everything on social media. Honestly, just in here to see if anything I'm into is flagging. Semaphore. Being a Reddit or Discord mod. I hate saying this cause I have close friends that are into it, but oftentimes gambling. I always find parents who partake in or force their kids to do beauty pageants as terrible. Does anyone on Reddit understand what a hobby is? As someone who lives in LA, honestly. Any girl that calls herself an influencer, collecting nail clippings, gambling, anything involving humiliation of other, non-consenting, people or enjoying suffering of other people. Making mean prank videos, for example. Or watching videos like look at this loser doing something stupid. Collecting alcoholic beverage containers, especially the same one over and over. Not having a hobby is a no-no for me. Child beauty contests. Cockfighting. Worshippers of hustle culture and fake financial gurus. I'm amazed no one has said drinking yet. Sure, you can be a connoisseur of fine alcohol, but there are other people who think getting shit-faced to natty lights on a regular basis is a hobby. Being into history isn't a red flag, but when it translates to the Roman Empire was a perfect society with no issues or flaws, that's a yeesh. Huffing, and attempting to make meth. Crypto. Not I have a few bitcoins, but the ones who think crypto will save the world. Making staged TikTok vids. Horseback riding. Teeth collection. Smoking weed and making that your personality. My older brother once said his hobby is smoking cigarettes. Not sure if that's a red flag or just sad. Edit, he rolls his own because it's cheaper. Making one hobby their entire personality. I'm pretty sure everyone here missed the word hobby. Essential oil obsession. Russian roulette. Guy who spends hours each week on IG, commenting, liking and DMing random models they never met. Hollywood/celebrity/sports worship. Killing for sport, Shia LaBeouf. Spamming on social media, smiley face. Crafting furniture made from human skin. Volunteerism or beggar backpacking. It is usually people from well-off countries going to poor countries, and they are generally seen as a drain to slash in those countries. Worst part is how proud these people are of themselves. Some of y'all are confusing the word hobby with habit. They ain't the same. Lots of habits you are saying are red flags though, just not the real question here. But in terms of hobby, a red flag hobby, in my opinion, is no hobby at all. Playing Destiny 2, reference I play Destiny 2. People who scroll this far down in these sorts of posts. Is it just me, or is this like the 23rd time this has been asked here in the last couple weeks? In Germany, when someone is really into football, soccer for the Americans. Those that are still in the team at a certain age stay there. They party with their club, they train with them, and when they get too old they start to train the youth. When they get home they watch football, play FIFA, or talk about football. People who don't exercise or work out, why don't you? I'm going to start tomorrow. Just don't have the motivation. I have incurable cancer. I'm gonna live my life as I want. I went to a clinic and the nurse said, we're gonna tell you to stop eating carbs blah blah blah. She said, in the future we'll reduce or get you off the meds. My reply was, I don't have a future. Her reply was brilliant. Check the computer, then said, eat and drink what you want. Brilliant. Don't feel sorry for me. I have trouble motivating myself, probably due to depression. My wife doesn't exercise at all, and I work out 5 to 6 days a week. I work a very physical demanding job and I consider that my workout. LOL. Pain. I work construction and honestly after working all day going up and down ladders and moving equipment, I am all set. It's boring, I have no motivation, there is always other things I rather do. I wasn't athletic growing up. I hated gym class almost as much as gym class hated me. We never reconciled. I also have zero discipline. I was the kid that never did my homework but got by on the tests and papers. I still blow off daily routines. Edit, I do lack discipline for things I don't enjoy, but I ended up finding my passion, worked very hard and now have career doing what I love. I don't want to. I used to and it feels good when it's done, but I absolutely hate every second of it. Because it's so incredibly boring that it's hard to keep up for as long as it takes, both time-wise each workout and consistency with workouts, to feel or see any motivating results. I'm dealing with epilepsy and finding the right medication. I'm constantly tired, and that's one of my seizure triggers. 'Cause fuck you, that's why. Not in all seriousness, I left the military not too long ago. My body hurts. I just want to chill for a while. Enjoy the cartilage that's left in my knee for a bit. I'll get back on it eventually. Or maybe not, who knows. Like I said, fuck you. Well, not you op, I meant society. Edit, thanks for the award. Edit, also thank you for all the advice brothers/sisters. I'm glad I'm not the only one feeling like this, and I appreciate all the advice. Never liked feeling out of breath, it was always a horrible feeling and I couldn't understand how anyone could like working out. Turned out I had exertional asthma, even well medicated I don't like the feeling. I exercise a little more now, but it was real hard to make myself do any for the longest time for a lot of reasons. Firstly, it just flat out does not feel good to me. I don't know where all these endorphins are that people talk about, but they never kick in for me. It's just a long slog over which I feel gradually worse as I become more out of breath and fatigued. I'm also super self-conscious and socially anxious to the point of being borderline non-functional, so doing anything to exercise outside my home has always been a complete no-go. I'm working on it, but still have yet to find the courage to set foot in the gym. I have so many other hobbies I want to be doing instead. Even worse than that, my own depression and self-loathing issues go into overdrive when I don't have something to distract my brain with. On a related note, one of the things I was super self-conscious about for the longest time was how dismally out of shape I was, and feeling myself get exhausted after a pretty pathetic amount of exercise was just pouring fuel on the fire of bad thoughts. Avoidance happens to be my go-to coping mechanism, so you can imagine how that spiraled. I've got 2 kids, 12 pets, a 9-hour job, and would like to relax on the little time I free up for myself. I've weighed the same sign high school, I'm 47 and work a physical job. Laziness, former non-exerciser. I'm exhausted from work and like to use my free time on things I actually find enjoyable. Life is short and I don't care if I'm a good-looking corpse. Edit, the amount of people giving me shit for not working out. You don't have to work out to lead a healthy life. A decent diet and avoiding certain vices in moderation is enough for most people. The reality is I have a lot of demands on my time, and an hour 3-4x a week in the gym for something I no longer enjoy is not time well spent for me. So whatever endorphins people get, I get the opposite. Any amount of exercise that even slightly raises my heart rate or makes me sweat makes me incredibly angry. Like I get rage-filled and stay grumpy and irritable for hours afterwards. It can ruin a full day easily. I've tried a lot of ways to exercise: fun dance classes, lifting, yoga, swimming, HIIT, cardio alone with podcasts, jogging in the cold, team sports, no difference. Because I absolutely hate it. I've tried several different types of exercise, some I can't do due to knee issues, but regardless of the type of exercise, I absolutely hate it. I dread getting ready to do it, I count minutes until it's over. I just cannot see how people enjoy it. Doesn't relieve stress for me. It's uncomfortable, unsatisfying, difficult, and boring. My boobs hurt and I can't bear to buy a humongous sports bra. I'm afraid to step into a gym because of my weight. I'm a plus-size woman and I know it's silly to say, but I just feel too self-conscious. I'm also out of habit with routine and let myself go over lockdown, and I just can't find motivation to do it. I get people don't care what you think at the gym most of the time, it's more an internal hate making me think that, considering I was healthy before I put on the weight and now looking at old photos it just gets me in my head about it. Should also add I did do geocaching for a while but life got in the way, so I haven't been completely inactive. My brain writes exercise checks that my ass won't cash. I actively hate it. Doesn't make me feel good, makes me angry when I'm bad at it, or someone is yelling at me to do better. I'm stubborn and am prone to giving up when I can't do it perfectly the first time. I'm a long-haul truck driver, and I'm female. I'm not going to walk around a skeezy truck stop, that's a tragedy waiting to happen. I try to do what I can in the sleeper berth. I used to exercise a lot. It never really helped with my depression. Then the first time in my life I stopped for about 2 years and I've gained 30 pounds. As I was getting back into it cause I was tired of being overweight and hate my body like this, I torn my ACL and meniscus in my knee at work and need open knee surgery. I'm tired. I've got 3 kids, a deployed husband, and a non-existent thyroid with hormones that won't balance. One of those kids is disabled. I volunteer at the school daily, I volunteer at church, I lead Girl Scouts. I do laundry and scrub bathrooms and cook so many meals. Chronic pain. Recovering anorexic with retaining osteopenia. I'll do bits here and there and I walk a lot, but my main focus is exercising only for fun and or health benefits. That means that as much as I might benefit from weightlifting or long runs, they aren't safe for me to do without a friend in case I become obsessive again. Do fun exercise. Stay active, but also stay happy. That's my motto. Sometimes I do nothing, sometimes I climb a mountain. I try to do enough in between that's not crazy, UK mountains lol. I find everything about exercising demotivating. Having to put time aside to do something I don't enjoy feels like a waste of time, all the sweating, straining, struggling, waiting for results to show, it makes me hate having to do it. Funny enough, I didn't hate the pain and soreness that typically came with every type of workout I've ever tried. I would rather do things that require physical activity like raking the yard. Because I have depression and anxiety and it's very difficult to find the motivation. I've not been to a gym in years. I absolutely hate them. However, I started doing Parkrun, UK, a few years ago, a free weekly 5K run/walk, which happens simultaneously in many parks all over the world every Saturday morning. Because I work 14-hour days, and have a 2-year-old. Have you seen the cost of food these days? I'm holding on to the pudge it brings. I paid for it face with tears of joy. I don't like it. Don't see the point in doing something I don't like. I used to work out years ago. I'd go to the gym 5 days a week and I was a bit slimmer than I am now and quite muscular. But, I realized I never really enjoyed it. I had a warped view of myself, that I wasn't good enough no matter how thin, fit, and muscular I was. Motivation mostly. I really don't enjoy it, so trying to force myself is super hard. Plus, I despise sweating, even in hot weather. Just makes me feel dirty. With 2 small children and a full-time job, I don't have time for sleep let alone working out. The few times I've been to the gym I felt really sick afterwards. I medically can't run, bike, lift weights, use treadmills, or play sports due to a nerve issue even though I was able to hike 14,000 peaks in the last few summers. Weird, I know. I have a heart condition that makes it difficult to 1. Boring as fuel yuck. 2. Pain. 3. Depressed AF. 4. Sitting and laying enthusiast. This being said, I just got a treadmill and I'm going to start stupid fucking walking every day even though I really don't motherfucking want to. I'm flat out lazy. I'm an amputee and I can only wear a prosthetic about 30% of the time, and any rigorous activity that makes me sweat causes sores and discomfort. I also have shoulder arthritis so any lifting causes pain. OMG, I'd love to, sometimes I even can stick to it for a few months, but ADHD is a bad side chick. Currently, my job is 15 minutes walking distance from my home, and I spend most of my job walking around and carrying stuff. I really wish I could, but I'm about 10 kilograms below a healthy weight. The answer for everyone is, it is extremely easy to not work out. The idea of it, for a sedentary person, sounds overwhelming. Humans naturally are always trying to save energy, not expend it. Our brains have no idea we're expanding our lives by exercise. I hate being out of breath. I feel like I'm dying. I use an inhaler but the agony is still too much. I'm a mom to 2 small kids, work full-time, and have other hobbies I enjoy more, horseback riding, cross-stitching, cooking, etc. Kinda hard to do most of the useful ones in a wheelchair, and in my particular case, a non-usable left arm leaves out free weights and other arm exercises. Recovering from COVID. Chronic fatigue syndrome. Exercise and a lot of physical activity will cause me to crash. People say that it makes you feel happier once you've exercised, but I've never felt that. Social anxiety. I don't like how it makes me feel. No time, no energy, no willpower, no cash. Severe asthma that results in an attack whenever I try to do anything strenuous, combined with crippling depression making it nearly impossible to even find the motivation to work out at all. Don't want to. Been having a really rough year with surgeries and wounds that wouldn't heal for months. I just recovered and started doing physiotherapy, hoping to exercise a lot in the future. I live in the north and do my exercise outside, so I'm more in the off season. Severe depression. Because my ADHD makes it really fucking hard to commit to a schedule. Because menopause is a motherfucker. It ruins my depression's gains. What ingredient ruins a sandwich for you? Soggy, not fresh tomato. Huge pieces of meat that when I bite, instead of cutting and eating a piece, I eat the whole thing and the rest of the sandwich is left meatless. A piece of lettuce that's a little too brown. Soft, cheap bread that gets soggy with the slightest bit of moisture. These are the questions I want to see on AskReddit. Warm wet lettuce on hot sandwiches. Mealy tomatoes. Sand. Standing with both feet in the lettuce bins with shoes on. Sweet pickles. If the condiments is not spread right to the edges and in the corners of the bread. Miracle Whip. Celery. Very thick tomatoes. Raw onions. American cheese. It's fine on burgers, but for a typical sandwich, no. Get that shit out of there and give me some real fucking cheese. Hair. Soggy bread. Raisins. Unless making a grilled cheese, I can't handle the crappy white bread that mushes to the roof of your mouth, nasty and can't hold anything together. Lack of sauce. Man, all the edible stuff in this thread is what I love about sandwiches. For me, it's if there's way too much meat. When it's like they cut a pound of meat and put in between 2 pieces of break with no fixins. Too much mayo. Tomatoes. It's not a flavor thing, it's a structural integrity thing. Tomatoes plus any other ingredient, especially condiments, creates any tectonic slide of instability that more often results in a pile of ingredients on the table underneath the 2 slices of bread in your hands. There's other ways to bring a brighter flavor, because most of the year, tomatoes that you didn't grow yourself taste like dog ass anyway. Not just on a sandwich but in general too. Ketchup. Miracle Whip. That shit doesn't belong on a sandwich. Mold. Thick cut tomatoes. Too much tomato makes it unbearable for me, especially when it gets wet and eventually soggy. Horseradish, can't stand the stuff, the tiniest bit and suddenly it's the only thing I can taste. Sweet pickles. Too much damn lettuce. Nice try Subway, you've done us wrong for too long and we are not taking you back. A black avocado, makes me gag. Cat. Mayonnaise. What is a creepy fact about the human body? Your intestines know what shape they're supposed to be in, and can move themselves, which means gut surgeons can just stuff them back into you when they're done and they'll sort themselves out. When you get laser tattoo removal the ink doesn't disappear, you pee it out. A dead body will often move as it's being cremated. Muscles contract as they cook, after all. We don't just have one anal sphincter. When POO comes along it passes another inner sphincter which isn't under voluntary control. Meaning you can do O with your outer sphincter, but not the inner one. You tried, that's okay. Sensory cells can detect whether you're about to pass gas or solid. From toddler age on, you can decide to go or not to go. If the time isn't right, e.g. at a friend's house or no toilet nearby, the inner sphincter can push the POO back and store it there for later. That's why sometimes if you need to do a number 2 but don't go, the urge goes away after about 20 minutes later. But seriously, go if you can. Gas can't be pushed back so easily, so we sometimes toot by accident when moving or engaging the core. Now what about liquid? It doesn't seem to know liquid. So we play Russian Chartlet. Credit, Julia Enders. Edit, typo. Your tongue has incredible tactile capabilities. So much so, that if you look at any object, you can vividly imagine what it would feel like to lick it. The intestines are covered by a double fleece of peritoneum. See it like a blanket. When your intestines get damaged for whatever reason, this blanket starts moving out of itself and crawling upwards towards the place which has the injury. It will stay there until the injury is recovered. And then move on again. Our brain filters out a lot of what we see along with just straight making shit up based on extrapolation. Allegedly, your immune system has no clue your eyes exist. Effective tomorrow, if your immune system found out about your eyes it would treat them as an external threat. Bodies will move as they're coming out of rigor. I've been bumped by a few, I'm a coroner. Human beings are a cesspool of bacteria and when you die your body eats itself from the inside out. The pain you feel from a sunburn is your skin cells effectively killing themselves before they mutate into cancer. You can become allergic to yourself. The liver can grow parts of itself back. If you get a splinter or foreign object stuck in your skin you can hold a flashlight against your skin and shine the light through your flesh, and the foreign object will be a dark spot. Light actually passes through our flesh quite well. Edit, I'm really glad that so many people have gotten out their flashlights and had some fun with them. Never stop exploring and being curious and trying to discover new things. The world is amazing and has so much crazy stuff to uncover. Y'all keep having fun now, and thank you everyone for all the wonderful replies and absolutely making my day. There is an urban myth that your fingernails continue to grow after death, which is supposed to explain why dead bodies often appear to have long nails. Food that was consumed can sometimes take up to 5 days to fully pass through your intestines into your colon. If you wear a glass which vertically inverts your vision long enough, your brain will correct it and you'll see things normal. The front of your tongue is curious, constantly patrolling, and autonomous. It chases the dentist around your mouth and you aren't even aware of it. So embarrassing and weird / creepy. EDA, there are few dentists in here and this, https://www. Reddit. Incident number 1, I had a bad enough broken bone when I was 9 that it almost killed me. Apparently the marrow that makes blood can't exist in your bloodstream, fun fact lol. Incident number 2, my orthopedic surgeon and my neurologist still don't have a good explanation as to how I have full range of motion in my legs, i.e., the ability to walk / run even. I've never seen a super smart guy like my neurologist just go I don't really know, after I had broken my back and had nerve damage and partial paralysis in both legs. Otherwise, he wrote some published stuff about it that was more question than answer haha. All I know is that when I get x-rays done or switch doctors, the response is how did you walk in here, it visibly unsettles them. Like I'm playing a prank and my wheelchair is hidden somewhere lol. I don't really care, if I'm being honest. It hurts a lot sometimes, and people get really weird sometimes when I remind them that I can't do some things but, shrugs I can walk so it doesn't matter much to me. Long story short, sometimes your body can do some weird and creepy shit that even the professionals go. The brain will always / usually try to ensure its survival, if knocking you out does so, then you will faint for the safety of the brain. I remember finding this once but I don't remember clearly. People keep saying your brain in these comments. Human skin is overlaid with a pattern called Blasco's lines, stripes covering the body from head to toe. The stripes run up and down your arms and legs and hug your torso. They wrap around the back of your head like a hood and across your face.